Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome back everybody to more of our solo Red Mage, where we have just arrived in the final area in World 3. And, well, we managed to defeat one of the bigger roadblocks for most solo character challenge runs, although the Red Mage had a lot less trouble in terms of damage, and more trouble with survivability due to the low vitality. But overall, once we got properly into the second phase, we ended up getting lucky enough that we would end up winning. So that's nice. So from here on out, our goal will be to get the Wonder Rod, get enough levels, and then beat the game. Oh, I need to start a timer. Thank you, Sneakbat. Alright. So, basically, generally speaking, for any solo character challenge run, unless I decide to do like an optional challenge, for example, Blue Mage we got all blue magic, Summoner we got all summons, etc. Unless I decide to do and go to an optional challenge like that, I'm just going to go ahead and do what I consider to be the bare minimum. In this case, however, we are going to go into the Twin Tower in order to grab the Wonder Rod, which is going to be incredibly useful. And also, I will need to have a few more levels, I think, in order to have a reasonable shot at the end, because we don't quite have enough maximum HP. And Magus, thank you for the raid and the host, I appreciate that. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome everybody for Final Fantasy V Solo Character Challenge Run with a Red Mage. We have just arrived in World 3. No raid message. Welcome to you, Dimitrios, and welcome to you, some dumb guy. That's an interesting name. Hope you're all having a good time. And for anybody who may not know El Magus, which I'd have to say is rather unlikely at this point, but just in case, make sure to follow him, because he's currently playing through Might and Magic 7, which I just recently played through, and it's quite interesting to see somebody who has a fair bit more experience with the game and doesn't really bother with, well, just defeating everything, just running through with invisibility, which is a pretty good strategy. To go faster anyways. Thank you, Quadlight, and welcome to you as well. Alrighty, so this upcoming boss fight here, or mini-boss if you will, with the Antline, I consider to be insignificant enough that even though Ferris is not here, I still think Ferris is a perfectly valid main character in case we decide to choose Ferris as our main character. Because most characters and classes, if they manage to defeat X-Death, they will pretty much have absolutely no trouble dealing with Antline. And that is exactly no different for our Red Mage here. Rump. Magus, thank you. Thank you so much for 49 months of support. That's a crazy long time. Welcome back. And well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. I hope you're doing well. I hope all is going fine. Oh, by the way, fun fact, last time when I didn't have any in-game sound anymore, it turns out it wasn't actually the settings that were wrong. It was a second, like, basically my cable was disconnected in a second place that I didn't realize was there, and that's why I didn't have any sound in my headphones. So, yeah. That was interesting. Welcome to you, Regadactylus. I hope you have a nice day so far. Do you just keep every other party member KO'd, or can you switch everyone out of your party? I just need to have them KO'd. There's no way to remove them from the party in other capacities. So basically, whenever we get into combat, I have them hit themselves with a Mithril Dagger or a Coral Sword, and that's it. Speaking of Coral Sword, I don't think you have anything equipped right now. So I'm going to give her a Coral Sword, and now she can just hit herself once, and she's going to not help at all. Well, for the most part. I'm almost tempted to not save before the Antline, but the Antline can always be annoying enough that I may want to save anyways. So, let's go. Kind of like Gilgamesh at the end of World 2. I consider this boss to be more annoying rather than dangerous, but much more so than Gilgamesh. No way to turn them into snowmen in this game, very true. Alrighty, so the upcoming boss here is called Antline. I think it has either 8100 HP or 8800, I believe it's 8100. And it has not that many moves, but it's really annoying because it has Sonic Wave, which can half my level and effectively reduce my damage output by more than half. Halving your level is pretty brutal in this game. Also, apparently I still have the wall ring equipped, but it doesn't really matter because this is one of the bosses that can just be put to sleep. Speaking of sleep, good night, Kara. And, well, in this game, if you put an enemy to sleep, they can't do anything anymore until you wake them up. And I'm not gonna wake him up, because I'm just gonna use spells until I win. That's it. So it's very, very easy to do this as a red mage. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 bosses or so that are susceptible to being put to sleep. It's actually kind of silly. I'm close to dual cast, you'll assume I go for that. Yes, actually. At this point, I'm close enough that I feel like it is worthwhile to just go for it. I will probably not necessarily stop, but it's likely that I'll get it before the Twin Towers. Jeez! Yeah, you could say it's cheese. But solo character challenge run is already tricky enough without having to worry about, well, trying to not choose enemies, but then again, sometimes we do that anyways, just because it's more interesting that way. Sometimes anyways. And enjoy your lurking, Bums. Thank you for dropping by and welcome to you. And thank you for the host. FF5, is that Fallout 4? Curious enough, Fallout 4 is the first Fallout game I played. It was neat. But it felt a lot like Skyrim to me, personally, where it was like a few interesting areas here and there, but for the most part it was like wide as an ocean, but shallow as a puddle. But I still liked it, overall. Unlike Skyrim, actually this time I knew that there was in fact a ending or a main mission that I was supposed to do. When I originally played Skyrim, I just heard of this big grand open world, and what did I do as soon as I got out of the initial cave? Well, I ran into a random direction and just started running around. That's it. I never actually realized that was a main mission. So eventually I just like, okay, I'm gone. Miss out on shouts and other cool features of the game. Yeah, I did have some shouts, so I must have done some of the missions. But I was probably more by accident rather than anything else, because I was just exploring stuff. Also, I feel like in Skyrim at least, I probably missed out on the more interesting areas because I never followed the story for the most part. Coffee. Half an hour ago I was so sleepy I was strongly considering a nap instead of starting the stream in time, but hey, now I'm awake, perfectly fine. Okay, I need to close that stream on my side that has the Yakamoth in it, because I actually had Elmagas open on the side, just kind of well, sneak peeking on whatever he might be doing in Might and Magic 7. And suddenly, well, there's that weird guy called Yagamoth, so I'm gonna close that one. Don't wanna watch that. Might be spoilers in there. Either way, we have Ferris back in our party, and we need to make sure Ferris also goes back to sleep at the next opportunity, but before that, it will take a while until we, well, get through the cutscenes. This is basically one of the longer sections of cutscenes, and if you already know the story and are just here for a challenge, well, it usually takes a bit. Maybe, Rico. Welcome to you, Jester Scout. I hope you're doing well, and welcome to you as well, Menblock. You weren't satisfied with your new script, so you redid the tracker logic again. Now you need to retrack everything. Oh, wow. I admire your dedication. Thank you very much. You heard the Yagamoth guy was that dwarf monk, is that just hearsay? Well, if I'm not mistaken, at this point there were 2 promotions and it's now a dwarven master. Which is interesting. But yes, apparently that one. How does one master being a dwarf? No, the master is the job class. Kind of like Final Fantasy 1 master actually, that evolves from the monk. Except there is like a middle stage. What was it called? An initiate or so? I think anyways. Because of the radical changes, Unity deleted every item instance, so you need to reapply all relations to logic words again. This will take 15 minutes or so. Wow. I wonder, have you found a good solution yet so the map is less cluttered? Like, what is your current approach with that? I mean, sure, we can go with that. Sometimes I intentionally take it serious, even though I realize it's not meant that way. Sometimes. There's going to be a demo for Trials of Mana Remake. I don't have a PlayStation. Oh, by the way, once again, anybody who has not voted yet, this is Solo Character Challenge number 17, so we have a few more left still for Final Fantasy 5. And if you'd like to vote for whichever one you'd like to see next, here is the straw poll link, which I just created today. If I actually write the command correctly, there it is, at the bottom. So if you'd like to vote on something, feel free to do that. If not, that's fine too. Your current approach is to give the locations a counter to make the map at least 20% less cluttered. Okay. Let's try it on the small map part first and send you a beta so you can see it for yourself. Okay, that's good, thank you. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know how much longer the Red Mage is going to take, but I might do just a open world seed. Today, depending on how long it takes. But this might take a while because, well, our Red Mage is not the most powerful character there is. Especially since we have to do like 2 optional dungeons plus. I actually need to think. What is my best option for grinding a few levels quickly. We will have a dancing a chicken knife, but... Oh, okay, fair enough. That is fair. Well then I don't have to worry about stressing for time as much. That's also nice. Let's see, what is my best option for grinding levels? I feel like the best option is going to be in the trench. Probably. Alright, we are finally through the cutscenes. There would be one more cutscene, but you can literally just move one tile down and avoid that one in this area here. So it's like, normally they would make some comments about the tree, but we just avoided that. Hooray. I suppose there's another little cutscene here. Oh well, that's okay. Need to think about the whole redesign, the small map, finding access place, etc. I see. That's fair. Are you going to implement, like, options potentially for how the icons are going to be displayed? If somebody, let's say, they just don't want the numbers there or something like that? Also, hey Ferris, please go to bed. You don't have to worry about being awake. Thank you. Alrighty, so we're actually going to back into Mua. So this is World 3, where basically World 1 and 2 were merged. So here we are. There is another Guardian Dagger in one of these barrels. I don't really worry about that too much, because I don't need a second one. However, we're going to go to a secret location over here. And this secret location here has a chicken knife. So you have the choice between a chicken knife and the Brave Blade. The Brave Blade can only be equipped by knights, so the chicken knife is the only real choice here anyways. And the chicken knife is significantly stronger than virtually anything else we have. Right now it has 97 attack. To give you a frame of reference, the second strongest weapon we have, it has 57. And on top of that, the chicken knife gives you +5 agility. On top of that, the chicken knife also gives you an additional boost thanks to it actually having the original, not broken damage formula that both takes strength as well as agility into account for full power. Meaning you actually benefit even more from the chicken knife rather than just a ridiculously high attack power. On top of that, it can get up to 127 attack power. And it scales, basically you get half an attack power for every time you run away during the entirety of the game. Like literally all of it. Okay. Next up we have another set of mini-bosses. These are the gargoyles. They are susceptible to a number of status effects, including sleep. So the way this normally works is if you defeat one of them, the other one will just revive the previous one. So you wanna be a little bit careful about how you defeat them. So you either can kill them straight up, they have about 5000 HP, or alternatively what I can do is I can just put one to sleep, so that one will never be able to wake up his body again. So aside from that, their only attacking move is, well, just attacking. So I'm just gonna armor up, taking only half the damage. And sometimes not taking any damage. So the chicken knife, it's really strong when we just attack with it. 2184 damage with just a regular attack. However, there's a bit of a downside to that thing. Sometimes. 1 in 4 times, instead of trying to attack, the chicken knife will use the Thief's Flee move, which means it tries to run away from combat. Which is not that great, all things considered, which is not that great, all things considered, if you, well, don't really have a good way of like avoiding that effect from happening. There's a few classes that have an attack move that ignores the chicken knife's potential flee effect, like The Thief itself has an attack steal move that ignores the Chick Knife, so it never has to worry about the 1 in 4 chance to run away. Aside from that, the Red Mage doesn't have anything like that, so it's just every time we attack with it, it's a 1 in 4 chance to run away, and we have to live with that. Let's see. We want to make the icons such a way that everyone likes them. Having number over some is quite necessary. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of a shame the Brave Blade can only equip by knights. Yeah, I mean, there is few enough classes that can equip swords in the first place. I feel like it would be perfectly fine to be allowing more classes to equip swords as well. Or, well, the Brave Blade. In general, I feel like just there shouldn't be a distinction between knight swords and the regular swords. It would make the knight a little bit less special overall. Also, I'm using 10s here just to recover MP. It would make the knight a little bit less special overall, but I feel like it would make other characters more interesting. Then again, it would make something like the Blue Mage even more overpowered than it already is. That's why you want to make some showcase betas. Nice, that makes sense. Okay, back to the Chicken Knife. So I will want to power up the Chicken Knife all the way to 127 attack power, which means I need to run away an additional, like, 64 times? That sounds about right. In order to power it up all the way. Alright, there we go. So the enemies in here are not terribly interesting to try and take out. So I will just run away because, well, Chicken Knife power. But also it's faster. We don't really have a good way of dealing with them. They are not weak to anything we have in particular. Plus, even if they were, they have enough HP that we don't really deal all that much damage to them with our spells that could target all of them. Hey Life Tactics, welcome. How are you doing? I'm actually going to go into the front row for this one. Oh. I don't usually get past these snakes without getting into an encounter, so that's unusual. Monster in a box. I'm just used to picking up this box here. I don't think I actually need it. Hang on. Uh-oh. Oh no, they did a lot of damage. Ah, that's not good. Whew! Let me run. The low HP strikes again. I believe there's actually a shield in there, which is why I normally pick it up, but I don't need that chest content at all. It's not necessary. And yeah. Beat him. So these Zephyr Zone enemies are actually pretty difficult to run away from. But thanks to the Chicken Knife, even if we don't get the flee effect, we still deal really good damage. And yes, there is black robes. There's a one black robe and I think a white robe. I'm not sure about the white robe. There's a number of good equipment pieces in this dungeon, to say the least. Alright, what we're gonna do here. So these machine head golems thingies can be confused. And they can hit themselves for pretty solid damage overall. So this is actually the Revenge attack. The Revenge attack deals damage equivalent to however much damage you already have taken. They will not use it against us, thankfully, but they will use it against themselves, so the easiest way to deal with them is confusing them and then dealing them some damage, and then they will deal a ton of damage to themselves afterwards, if they don't resist their own attack, that is. I think they have about 5000 HP. They don't really give anything defeating them, but running past all of these guys without ever getting into an encounter with any of them is unlikely, but possible. But the machine head is better than the rest, green to red. I feel like that's a song reference. Uh-oh. Mustard bomb. Uh-oh. You heard somewhere that the black robes are bugged and don't affect the black magic set, whereas the white robe works. Not quite in this game like that, no. In this game here, there is almost no reason to ever use a white robe over a black robe, even on a white mage, for that matter. I can explain that in a moment, once I hopefully manage to defeat this guy. Getting pretty unlucky here, it feels like. He's just attacking normally rather than getting confused. The song is called Machine Head. Makes sense. For some reason I thought it was like a band or so. To be fair, this guy is almost dead at this point, so I might as well just go ahead and actually equip the proper rod, so I deal 50% more lightning damage. They are weak to lightning. Just finish him off at this point. Oh wow, didn't finish him off. Missile 75% of my current health and damage. Okay, I don't know how much HP they have left, but they give no experience and a bunch of ability points. Okay, I do want to keep the bone mail at the same time. I don't want to use it. What's the best defense we can get? 13. That way I can also heal myself. Oh, well, I have to defeat this guy anyways. So we go back to the chicken knife, front row. Gold hairpin is fine. Trying to avoid these guys, but, well, it's rather difficult at times. So, alrighty, black and white robes in Final Fantasy V. The black robe, I think, is plus 5 magic power, which is really substantial. Once again, Mind Magic? Final Fantasy V does not allow you to... or it does not increase your stats at all, or it doesn't change them outside of changing job class and getting equipment. Leveling up only ever increases your maximum MP and HP pool and doesn't do anything else. Well, it also increases your damage due to the virtue of it all being calculated based on your level. But... yeah, that's kind of pretty much it. Also, I keep equipping the chicken knife to get the 5 agility again, so I'm a little bit faster than before. Ooh, Surge Beam. So this is why I actually unequipped the Bone Mail. Because Surge Beam deals 50% of my maximum health and damage. So whenever I'm below half HP, I'm actually in danger here. I really hope that I get to confuse you sometime. Thank you. There we go. There's the revenge attack he should use on himself once more and we win. Either way, Black Mage Robe is really good because it gives plus 5 magic power, which that's a substantial amount of magic power. White Mage Robe gives you, I think, plus 3 magic power and plus 5 vitality or so. And the reason why plus 5 vitality is mostly pointless in Final Fantasy V is because the game calculates your maximum HP before the equipment vitality has been added. What this means, unfortunately, is that even though we would love to have more vitality, which goes super low at 21, the white robe doesn't help in this at all. The only thing the white robe effectively affects is actually having regeneration ticks being slightly higher with more vitality from the white mage robe. And outside of the bard, there's not really any class that benefits from that. Solo bard in particular, by the way. So yeah, we're on the back row, that's fine. Alrighty, these guys here are a bit spooky. These are the one type of enemy where it would be nice to have another angel ring. So they deal a substantial amount of damage with their physical attacks. So I want to armor up before I do anything else. They are undead, so that means they are susceptible to instant death since they are also not heavy. Heavy means it's usually a type of boss flag where if an enemy is heavy it cannot be instantly killed through various means. In this case they are not, so we can just use a Phoenix Stone. So the thing is, if I leave one of these guys alive in the end, we are actually in... well, we have a little bit of a problem. Because if there's only one of these guys left, they will cast or use Dance of the Dead. Dance of the Dead targets a random party member and will turn them into a zombie. Unless you're immune against the zombie status, which the Angel Ring would make us immune to the zombie status. We will be potentially a zombie. So it can target one of my allies on the floor. But yeah, it's rather unpleasant to get hit by Dance of the Dead, because that's an automatic game over, since if your last character gets zombied, that means you're just dead. Kind of like last character gets petrified, last character gets knocked out. All of these are effectively the same for all intents and purposes. Oh no. Okay, he did not actually even use the Dance of the Dead, so he has a chance to not use it. And the damage was just uneven enough that one of them died, but not the other. Alright, so the chest on the left here contains the black robe. However, it is also guarded by a zombie dragon, which is unpleasant. I would like to have it, but it's not really worth the hassle, since we have an easier access to it a little bit later. The chest over there on the other side contains elixirs on both sides of the sarcophagus on the right. And through the sarcophagus, I believe there is a Thornlet, which is heavy armor equipment, the best straight-up defense equipment for heavy armor users, with the main downside of it being not particularly useful for the most part outside of specific instances, because it is also, aside from having a ton of defense, permanently inflicts your character with the HP leak status, which is not really offset by how much defense it grants you. So yeah. So Vitality on gear is a terrible stat, yes. Which is also why, by the way, the Bone Mail actually reduces your Vitality by 5. Which is why that basically doesn't matter. So there's a number of chests, a lot of them contain dark matters, which is a mixing ingredient for a chemist and doesn't have any other use. We're not a chemist, so we can't really use it anyways. They are worth 1 gold. So for example, the 2 chests on the left here are dark matters, and they are also guarded by enemies. The enemies are pretty solid experience, but they're also mildly dangerous. It's the cursed ones for the most part. We actually haven't seen the flea effect from the chicken knife proc yet, but basically, instead of attacking, we just automatically run away from combat, or try to, and fail if it's a boss battle, without getting the attack off. Alrighty, so there's a number of items over here. This is the gold hairpin. We don't need a second one, because we already have one, but it's actually worth quite a bit of money. Speaking of money, there's more here. Once again, the other chest contains dark matter, which is guarded by enemies. Not really worth picking up, unfortunately. If you have a good way of dealing with the enemies that are guarding the chest, they are actually pretty solid experience. Here is a guard ring, one of my favorite accessories. It gives a good amount of defense, as well as permanent regeneration status. I really like regeneration status, because, well, it just heals you over time, and it even works in conjunction with a bone mail, even though normally with a bone mail you are immune to regeneration. Also, Jeffersons do have a bunch of evasion. We've so far gotten lucky that we didn't get one of these, but oh well. Jeffersons are summoning other enemies. So those are bio soldiers, which those are not the original bio soldiers which we met in the earlier parts of the game. Those are actually a separate type of enemy that have mostly the same moveset, but they are a fair bit stronger. Also, if you capture them as a Beastmaster, they do unleash a different type of attack than when you capture an original Biosoldier. For example, Biosoldier in particular, capturing them with a Beastmaster unleashes a flame attack that deals 25% of the enemy's maximum HP and damage, fire damage. So it's actually really intriguingly good. It's remapped. Well then, good luck. Also, that was 7 minutes ago. Okay. So, you know that island where our ship was originally on? Well, turns out that island is a gigantic beast called Bahamut. And the shadow is way larger than us. So the interesting thing, in my opinion, is that you can fight a Bahamut in order to get it as a summon for, well, the summoner. And the sprite you fight in battle for Bahamut is a little bit underwhelming. Because I feel like it should be significantly larger. Considering he basically represents an entire island where we landed our boat on without noticing. Oh well. I guess it's a dragon, so metamorphosing, or well, polymorphing into other shapes and sizes is not too difficult for it. Okay, I want to use another tent to replenish my 100 MP because I will need it in the next area. And there was actually no boss in here. The boss will come actually just over here in the forest. Oops, I did not mean to go in here yet. I want to first make sure that it's a solo character challenge. Alright. Sleep. Don't put me to sleep, that's kind of mean. Speaking of sleep, those Elm Gigas enemies are always asleep when the battle starts. So unless you use if you don't use physical attacks on them, they don't wake up. It's kind of weird. Okay, go into the back row, save, and let's go. Wait, the peninsula is Bahamut? You thought he was just under it and sinking set him free? I mean, basically the peninsula is in the shape of a dragon, if you look at it that way. And I don't think it's as explicitly stated as to which one it is. But I just always assumed because he had such a large sprite on the overworld, it would just be the equivalent of Bahamut. And thank you, 34 UVC. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to you as well, Kay. How are you doing today? Also, once again, for anybody who has not yet voted on what they would like to see for the next solo challenge, feel free to let me know. Also, by the way, Xdef is a crab. He walks sideways. He's actually a tree, but I like the idea of a crab better, considering he just skitters sideways like that. Either way, we have our next boss right here. The next boss is called Merijin. I do believe she is a little bit more clothed in the Game Boy Advance version, but whatever. Either way, she is also susceptible to sleep. So Merijin is a bit of a different type of boss fight. She has 4 different forms. One is weak to fire, one is weak to ice, one is weak to lightning, and one is weak to physical attacks. She has a ridiculous amount of defense in any physical defense in any form that is not weak to physical attacks, and she absorbs all elements that she is not currently weak to. So if I use lightning or ice initially, she will get healed by that. She always starts out as being weak to fire, so if we just put her to sleep right away without missing too many times before she switches her barrier, which you do actually get to visually see that she switches her weakness, but you don't know what she switches it into, like the direction or how it animates, completely independent on how what she turns into. Right, and she's asleep. And that's quite simply the entire battle already. She is not usually all that dangerous for the most part. And has about 20,000 HP, so that is 10, 11, 12, 13, about 13 higher 2 spellcasts. For the bottom link, thank you UVC, I appreciate it. And anything else? Let's see, I'm actually curious whether she has any other weaknesses. But obviously, putting her to sleep is one of the most powerful things we can do. She is susceptible to mute, so we can mute her. So she's normally a spellcaster herself. She casts Ice 3, Lightning 3 and Fire 3, which do a good amount of damage. But what we could do is actually we could equip a Flame Ring in order to be immune against ice and absorb fire, and we could equip the Diamond Plate, or Pelt, which halves the damage we take from lightning. So she also has physical attacks, but she does not use them particularly frequently. Alright, yeah. Also, we can confuse her for whatever that's worth, but, well, sleeping is more powerful. Why am I using the English version this time? It's for basically one main reason. It's more easy to read for the main part of my audience, as well as for myself, in order to be able to keep track of what's happening in the game. So I'm basically using SD2 SNES in order to play the fan translation here on my old Super Nintendo. The main reason why I played Japanese is because I decided to just go all the way for the Solo Berserker. The Gladiator solo character challenge could be drastically different between different characters. Yes, to an extent. And it is the only chapter that has that kind of attribute. Do you think I agree with that? Alrighty, Merijin down without any trouble, because if an enemy is susceptible to sleep and you have the means to put it to sleep, you will not usually have that much trouble. And conveniently enough, Lana does join us already knocked out, so we don't actually have to knock her out any further. What's a little bit more Japanese going to do? Well, there's a lot more. I know how to read Bo as well for bone mail and stuff. But yeah. As I said, it's mainly to make it easier to read for the English audience too. And aside from it being basically just in English, the gameplay is the exact same. I think anyways. There is cases where localization or some simple text translation ended up resulting in weird side effects that actually affected gameplay in some games, but aside from Mafia 2, I can't actually think of any game really. And even that one is mostly visual. Welcome to you, Dryzolizer. I hope you're doing well. Which class is the Gladiator? The Gladiator is a Game Boy Advance job class, which, well, is one of the advanced job classes that you would only unlock after you collect the 4 tablets in World 3 here. We have the first one just now. And it is effectively like a melee fighter that has a few more abilities, and because it's an advanced job class, it's appropriately overpowered in comparison to most other characters. Mafia 2 is a great game, but a mess the localization is. Yeah. I wonder whether is there a second English localization? Like a UK version or an Australian version for that matter? Because I did not remember the localization being as bad as it is for at least enemy and monster names when I last played it in English. If you are going to do the Gladiator class, how would you get past the beginning stages? Kind of pretty much like we do with every other job class. We just use a game shortcode in order to unlock the job class from the beginning. Otherwise we would be kind of missing out on everything, really. Cheater! I mean, It would be super boring for a lot of job classes if we had to do the beginning with the freelancer about 20 times total. 4 times for all the Earth job classes until the Earth Crystal with a freelancer. I will get old very quickly, and we would be missing out on some of the more interesting boss fights, I think. Alrighty, so we finally have our airship and are allowed to move around freely in the overworld, and the first thing we do is we visit the Barrage Village. Actually, the Mirage Village is a hidden village that there are some in-game clues on how to be able to get there, but if you already know how to get there, you can just go there right away. That's the village that basically sells you the best type of equipment in the entire game. Also, before I do that, I'm going to do 2 things. One is 3 things actually. I'm going to grab some of the weapons here. Chicken knife, guard ring, bone mail, sure. So this is the Sealed Shrine. That's a place you could have gone visit in World 2 if you wanted to. And it's basically... you couldn't do anything there yet. Now that we have a tablet, we are actually capable of getting 3 of the 12 legendary weapons. There's 4 tablets, 3 times 4 is 12, so with all 4 tablets you can get all the legendary weapons. We're not terribly interested in getting all the legendary weapons. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to go ahead and run through here. Alrighty, shield dragons are really difficult to run away from, so that's actually quite pleasant that we managed to do this right away. Put the tablet here, and now we can choose 3 of the legendary weapons. I actually haven't quite decided which ones I'm gonna get yet, to be completely honest. So we can't use any of these. Assassin Dagger, probably. Yeah, actually, I can only use 3 of them anyways. So this is the Sage Staff. It's basically a white mage type weapon, it's a staff weapon. It deals 8 times damage against undead, based on your magic power too. And it never misses, so enemy evasion doesn't matter. So it's actually an interesting type of weapon for a white mage, or also red mage in this case, because we can equip staves. It also increases the power of your holy elemental attacks, which we don't have any anyways. We have the Wizard Rod here, which increases the power of all elements except for water. So instead of having to switch between Ice Rod, Lightning Rod and Fire Rod, we can just equip the Wizard Rod and we are fine. Next we have the Assassin Dagger, which is a dagger and pretty much the weapon that most solo characters can use, because it's a dagger without any restrictions added to it. And the dagger has a 1 in 4 chance to use Doom whenever you attack with it. And that's quite neat. So I don't really need any of these weapons. I think the Assassin Dagger is going to be the most useful one because I'm planning on using it in particular against one specific boss. You would have the Forge of Fiesta problem where you end up doing the first couple crystals with Freelancer all the time. Yep. You've honestly thought of making separate saves to just circumvent that for Fiestas? Would make sense to me. Because if you've done the beginning with Freelancers once, you know you can do it again. I guess the main difference would be what you would be grabbing along the way. Would it increase the damage of Cure against undeads? The Sage Staff, that is. I don't think it does. I do believe the Sage Staff is... How? That's a lot of damage. I do believe the Sage Staff is... Or, yeah, I don't think Cure is actually holy elemental damage, for that matter. I'd like to point out I have Bone Mail equipped. Also, whenever you attack this guy, he is going to counter-attack with Hard Hit, which normally confuses your character, but thanks to the Bone Mail, I'm actually immune to that. So I'm attacking with the Chicken Knife just for the hope of a 1 in 4 chance to be able to run away. That's it. Come on, there we go. You saw the A to B jump to the beginning, which actually meant that the Chicken Knife procced him, that it was not a regular runaway. What other weapons did you grab during the solo circuit? We grabbed the Assassin Dagger as well as the Rune Axe. The Rune Axe always critically hits, but it also scales off of magic power for a Berserker. And Berserker does not have much magic power unless you equip it with, like, magic. But the always critical hit is kind of nice for single target damage. So, the second thing we're going to do with our Chocobo friend is we're going to walk over here and grab a hidden item. This hidden item is the Magic Lamp. The Magic Lamp allows us to summon summons. It's basically a consumable item, not consumable as in you can refill it by coming back here to the waterfall or a different place in a dungeon. It basically allows you to first summon the most powerful summon, Bahamut, second powerful summon, Leviathan, and third one is Odin. Odin is the most interesting one because it is an instant kill against anything that is not flagged as heavy. So a bunch of bosses are actually pretty easy to take out with it. Including part of the final boss, which is the main reason why I end up going to get that. Further, we are going to do a third thing with our Chocobo friend, and that third thing is we are going to walk once around the entire world map. If I know where to go anyways. Not here. So, if you travel once around the entire world map as a Chocobo, you can get an extra item. Basically, this is kind of an optional side quest where we can get a Mirage Vest. The Mirage Vest gives us 1 charge of image every time we begin the battle. Image means that the next physical attack is going to miss us, which is incredibly helpful. And Vanaka, thank you! Thank you so much for 21 months of support. Welcome back! And I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Good evening. And I never remember how to do this travel around the world on a yellow Chocobo. You've never heard of this side quest? So here's the thing. If you enter the void once, the NPC is going to be gone from Barrage Village for whatever reason. So you have to do this before you enter the void for the first time. Even if you just go inside and go back outside, he is gone. So yeah, that's less than ideal. You have your smileys back. Nice. I hope you like them. I think I'm going to buy a bunch of venom rods for healing myself while still wearing the bone mail. Because why not? Seems like a good idea. Because somebody else pointed out last time that that's a thing I can do, and for me it was like, oh yeah, I forgot that. That's a really clever idea. Alrighty, we are almost there. There we go, this is where we started. We have made an entire circle around the world. And now we go and grab our Mirage Vest, which is in Mirage Village. You can get Mirage Vest by stealing a rare steel from a... What are those cute little things with the knife called and the lantern? The green ones. They have a weird name in this one because I think Final Fantasy 5 is the first appearance of them. Tonberry. Yeah, that one. Tonberry, exactly. Yeah, those are the ones that appear here. Hello. I'm going to come back to you in just a second. Yes, Tonberries, you can steal the Mirage Vest from them as a rare steal. Alrighty, first of all, we are going to get running shoes. Running shoes are insanely good in this game. Because they give you permanent haste. Which means, outside of some specific instances, we will never go with anything but the running shoes. They give you permanent haste, immunity to beating stop, immunity to sleep, immunity to paralyzation, and immunity to slow. And once again, haste and slow are the most powerful status effects in this entire game, so having permanent haste just thanks to an accessory is ridiculously good. Alrighty, that's the most important buy. Let's see what else we can get. Sell some things that we don't need anymore. For example, we don't really need the elemental rods anymore with ice, fire, and lightning rods. I'm just gonna sell them here. I'm not gonna use these ropes anymore either. Double lance we don't need. Don't really have much use for an elf cape anymore. Still going to keep it for a specific other instance. Same with the shields, we're keeping them just for a specific instance. Power ring we don't have any use for. As much as I like the guard rings, running shoes are just so much better. So I'm gonna sell them too, which is worth quite a bit of money. Episword we sell. Strength armor and stealth armor we sell as well. Coronet is worth 37,500 gold. It's actually a unique and one-of-a-kind item, so if you have a Beastmaster you don't want to sell it. Gold shield we don't need. Do we have another one? Actually I'm gonna keep the gold shield. Tricorn hat and airblade we don't need. Diamond pelt. I think I actually do have a use for that one still, so I'm gonna keep it. Plumed hat we don't need anymore. Don't need these, don't need that. Alrighty, and we have 120,000 gold. So, what we're gonna buy is... Actually, we're gonna just buy a crystal shield. I'm gonna sell the gold shield here. You'll see why soon. Alright, so... Dark Hood is... headgear item that gives you a good amount of defense, +1 strength and +1 agility. So it's actually not as good power or attack wise as, let's say, the strength headband, but because it has a bunch more defense, I tend to prefer that overall anyways. The circlet gives you +3 magic power, so I'm just going to buy one, just in case we want to use it. The dark robe is actually, once again, basically agility and strength armor. The black robe, however, is the one I was just talking about earlier. It gives +5 magic power, so if you go the magic attacking route, we will want to have this one instead. The white robe, once again, the only use we've ever found is for a solo bard, because the plus vitality unfortunately does not affect how much HP we have. If it would, I would go absolutely with that one, because Red Mage's vitality is so low. So yeah, that's that. There are some spells that you can pick up here if you don't have them yet, which we do already, we have everything. I don't think there's any other weapons here that are interesting in any capacity for sale anyways. Oops, not in here. Would throwing rods be better for damage, or is that in the Final Fantasy 6 thing? No, it's definitely a thing in this game too, especially in the early game. Because it unleashes level 3 spell, which we don't otherwise have access to, it would largely be the best way of dealing with enemies. Also, this guy here is the guy that gives us the Mirage Vest if we ride around the world on the yellow chocobo. But yeah, I've been largely avoiding just breaking rods for damage, because I like to try and basically win the battles based on the character's own merits, rather than just making it a black mage light, if you will. And honestly, with the exception of Soul Cannon, where it would have just taken a bunch longer until we got lucky, we didn't break any rods. But we did make the proof of concept that we could win against Soul Cannon. We just needed to get a bit luckier. But after we had, I think, 20 deaths against it, I decided, let's just go anyways. We had approximately a 6% chance to win in the end. Alrighty, new equipment. So, let me think about this. I actually want the circlet. Bone mail is fine, running shoes is fine. Okay, that's all we really need. Okay, so now we could immediately go into the void in order to tackle the end of the game. However, before I do this, I am going to go ahead and do a few optional things, because I really want to have that Wonder Rod I've been talking about the other time. And... alright, let's go. Thank you, Venacut. I really appreciate that. So now that we have permanent haste, get used to the red glow, I suppose. You can see we go so ridiculously much faster that we almost go twice before the enemies here can even attack us once. Oh. Yeah. I hope they find soon, but it might be Venacut. Your stomach gurgled to the tune of the boss fight music. Should go get breakfast. You should. Enjoy your breakfast, and until later, I suppose. Okay, kind of like I did before, I'm just going to go ahead and use spells for the rest. Now that we have a Wizard's Rod, I don't have to specifically go for specific spells anymore. All of them should deal approximately the same damage. What was the chicken knife? Like 2000 damage. We have about 5000 health, so I need to deal with about 2000, a little bit less. 2 more, and then we just attack with the chicken knife in order to take out that gargoyle. So once again, if that gargoyle would be weak, he would just revive his body with full HP, which is rather unpleasant. It's kind of like Life 2, but they don't use any magic power for it. There we go. And that's that. Get 10 ability points, and we are very, very close to dual cast at this point. I may want to get dual cast sometime, but I don't think it really matters for the next boss for the most part. So there's a bunch more money in here, through the walls for example. But for the most part I don't really need it anymore. I have bought most of the things I really care for. So there's that. Why do I need to sleep? Yeah, because one gargoyle would revive the other one if they get a turn at all. Like, they will always revive their buddies. You cannot silence it. You can paralyze them, you can stop them, you can slow them, I think. But unless they are incapacitated one way or another, they will always revive the other friend. Also, this is one of the weirdest rooms. There's actually chests in the wall here. Those chests basically don't really contain anything particularly worthwhile, but it's just such an obscure thing that there is chests inside the walls here that most people don't know about. I figured I like pointing it out. Oh, you tried to use a message with 43 ROMs, but you think the spam filter ate it. Yeah. Actually, I think it's more of a concept that you literally can't send that many characters in one message. And the subscription message might just react a bit weirdly to it when you try that. But Mike ABC, thank you. Thank you so much for 43 ROMs of support. That's a crazy long time. Welcome back. I'm glad you enjoy your stay. What you could do, and I think Prof Ness does that, you could do one big rabbite to indicate 10 little ones. So that would be 4 big ones and 3 rumps. And welcome to you, Dash Retro. This looks fun. it is an experience. Sometimes fun, sometimes a lot of grinding, but it's always nice around here thanks to people around. Do you have any plans to play through Lufia 2, or do you have a vote of doing so? I actually have a highlight of playing through Lufia 2. If you would like to watch me do that. It's been a while ago, but yeah. The chest on the right side contains a Dragon Fang, so I'm gonna ignore it. It's worth 2,500 gold if I were to sell it. But there is actually pitfalls in that room, so you don't want to step on the wrong tiles, and I actually don't know where most of these tiles are. Top 3 for sure. Nice. Okay, I think I actually want to keep the bone meal equipped. I do, however, want the gold hairpin as well for less magic power invested. Going to use 2 ethers, sure. Not entirely sure how that's going to go down. I have an idea on how to deal with this, but this might take a while. Oh, random encounter just before. Alrighty, so upcoming we have a boss fight with the Stalker. The Stalker is a really weird boss because it's effectively one boss that tends to switch between the 4 initial places. However, initially all 4 of them are real. This means it doesn't matter which one you attack, all of them are real. However, you can also put them to sleep. Let's see whether we can hit all of them. We hit only 1. So I don't know whether all of them now are already switching it up. 2 are asleep. Still only 2 asleep. So the reason why I'm trying to put all of them asleep is as soon as they start moving and moving around, they actually end up just kind of reviving each other from their slumber. There we go. Now all of them should be asleep, I think. Actually, at least one of them is not, because I saw the ATB move at the bottom slightly slower. I think. We'll see. Either way, my idea here is, once they're asleep, I just try to hit them with spells. They have 20,000 HP, they're not weak against anything in particular. Oh yeah, something is not asleep yet. I don't know which one is not asleep, but at the bottom I saw the ATB be basically just taking a very brief pause. So I don't know which one it might be. Okay, it's still... You saw the pause at the ATB there. Trying to put them all to sleep. So in case you're wondering, if you... Okay, it is the bottom center one for now. They actually hiddenly move around and move each other. So that means if one moves another one, both of them are no longer asleep. Okay, something is still not asleep. Oh my goodness. So the thing is, I don't actually know how this fight exactly works. I just know that they like to move around. So in theory, all of them are asleep now. But something is still moving. I don't know what it is exactly. Either way, they have 20,000 HP. Oh. That was less damage than before. So this was going to take a while with just single target. Oh, that's right, I have the Wizard's Rod not equipped. That's why. Wizard's Rod deals 50% more damage with most elements except water. So my idea is basically, normally what happens if you hit one of them, it will change position from any position to another position. However, you cannot normally use area of effect attacks, because they will counterattack with Blaze, which is ice elemental damage, 240 damage to your entire party, times 4 because all of them react to it. So it's a lot of ice damage you take, plus HP leak status on top of it. If you want to see if Cure is Holy Element, cure yourself and then equip the white stuff and then cure yourself again and watch yourself die if it is Holy Element. That's a fair way to go about it. But yeah, it looks like they're not really asleep, or at least something is not asleep. It might just be like a hidden actor that controls which Stalker moves rare. I don't really understand how this fight works. Fun fact, Stalker is level 7, for whatever that is worth. So I'm doing this with every class individually? Yes, that's going to be the ultimate goal in the end. We are more than halfway through it, but there's still a lot of them left. But aside from the Thief, I think only Mime is going to be relatively difficult, but the rest should be reasonably doable. Maybe not easy, but not as extreme as some of the other classes we had before. Oh, which classes have been the hardest / easiest thus far? I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean with easy. The most straightforward one, in terms of both power and ability to clear everything, so far has been the Ninja. I would say Blue Mage and Spell as Chemist were more powerful in their own right, but they did both require a bunch of preparation in order to get through certain parts. Aside from that, we also had Bard was a surprise on how not as difficult it was as I expected it to be. But it is largely thanks to us figuring out a certain weird glitch where you continue singing while you're still doing other stuff too. Well, maybe not largely, but to an extent. The most difficult, mentally anyways, I dare to say was the Geomancer, because our probability of success in certain regions was really low and we just had to keep trying until it finally worked. Which, even though, let's say, White Mage took a bunch longer, as well as Berserker taking a way longer than that, at least there was a kind of a clear goal and a proper mindset in place. For the Geomancer it was like, well, I just hope it eventually works. Has Samurai been done yet? Not yet, no. Alrighty, I just hope this guy doesn't wake up, because otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble. I don't have enough MP anymore to cast spells, so I'm just gonna use an elixir, which recovers my MP, but because I have the bone meal equipped, it also puts me into critical HP status. That reminds me, I can break a Venom Rod in order to heal myself. It still inflicts HP leak status, but it's actually a pretty solid heal. Which is why I want actually more Venom Rods. Though this is kind of a unique strategy that only really very few classes can do. Wait, what can do that? Freelancer? I think a Blue Mage could have done that too, but Blue Mage has other means to heal. Do you go check your YouTube channel for old solo corrected challenge bots? You can go for YouTube, although I haven't exported all of them yet. I probably should catch up on that soon. The highlights on the Twitch channel are all of them available for that part. So we technically won. The game just does not know yet, because they are awake. Or they are not awake. Actually, I'm not entirely sure what happens when you put all of them to sleep. Hurricane would be really bad, actually. Hey guys, you're supposed to be dead because I killed one of your buddies. Hello? This might not work the way I hope it works. They're not giving up here. Interesting indeed. I was kind of wondering whether this might happen. Basically, the game never initialized the proper sequence of combat because I never attacked a single guy first. Ah, there it is. It took the game a while to realize that I actually won. That was indeed quite interesting. Okay. And with this, we managed to open up we managed to open up the path into the Twin Towers, and that is going to be my next destination. The Twin Towers I mainly do in order to acquire a certain item called the Wonder Rod, or Wonder... yeah, Wonder Rod, really. And that's it. Alrighty. Running shoes, back row, let's go. Let's just call that lag, yep. Chest on the right contains, I think, a dark matter. I think the chest on the left contains another circlet in case I wanted another +3 magic power for my headgear, which I already have one from Barrage Village. So there's not much of a point in me picking it up. Go save and then cure yourself. I mean, I just saved, so I can do that. Alright, let's see. Let's hope we don't die in the meantime. Alright, so if I cure myself... How much damage does it deal? 144. Alrighty. Now, if I equip the Wizard Rod... The Sage Staff it is, actually. Cure again. 135, so no, Cure is not Holy Element. Which I suppose makes sense. But hey, we have that mystery solved now. This is very fall down. Johnny Cage is from Mortal Kombat, I think, right? It's been a long time since I've seen parts of the movie. I don't think I've seen the full one. And for Mortal Kombat itself, I've actually only ever played Mortal Kombat Ultimate, where there is no Johnny Cage. There's 2 Sub-Zeros though, for whatever reason. I don't understand that one. That chest here contains a guard ring, but it is guarded by either a machine head golem or a prototype. Both are not particularly fun to deal with, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Could have been somewhere else. Well, it's actually very likely, because yes, it is indeed a misspelling originally anyways of Yawgmoth. That chest on the left side there contains a Sun Disc, I believe it's called. It's a boomerang type weapon, decently strong. It deals full damage from the back row, but boomerangs can only be used by a few classes like the Ninja, the Thief and the Mime. And Freelancer, because Freelancer can equip everything, so I don't usually mention it. But usually you have better weapons by now, so the Golden Sun Disc is not really all that useful or worthwhile. But yes, basically I needed a character name for my 11th or so character, probably more like 20, I don't know, in Ragnarok Online. And since I don't really have that much to do with Magic the Gathering myself, but I've seen a lot of cards my friend have, well, I remember the card name with a cool looking skeleton that was like Yawgmoth. It was actually Yawgmoth. And that's kind of where that was. I forget what the exact card name was. We actually recently looked that one up. Yes, I played Ragnarok Online. I played on the international server for quite a while, but when the transfer over to the newly opened European server was opened, I ended up transferring there and played that for quite a long time. Actually, pretty much until the Second War of Imperium was released a little bit further. Then I kinda stopped at some point. So, alrighty, I want to have more Venom Rods so I can more easily heal myself despite being in a bone mail. At this point, specifically healing through a bone mail I consider to be more clever rather than playing another class. Because once again, it's not that often that you can both equip the bone mail as well as break or equip Venom Rods in the first place. So I'm just gonna buy all of them, because why not? Chaos or Loki? I played on Chaos. Actually, on the international server I played on Loki. In the European server I played on Chaos. I played on the Japanese server very briefly when... So here's the thing, the way I started playing Ragnarok Online was during the open beta of the international server. And I was so addicted to the game that I just really wanted to keep playing, but because it went into closed beta, we couldn't play anymore. So... I figured out how to play on first the Japanese server until they kicked us out. I don't know what actually happened because I did not know Japanese. Then we played on the Korean server for a short while too, until the international server opened up in a way where we actually were able to play. You played on Chaos on the international server? I see. Yeah. I came in relatively late, so I decided to switch over to Loki because that was the less populated server at the time. But yeah, I played on the European server for quite a long time. I mainly played Wizard at the time, although a large part of my identity was the Battle Mage that I also used. You were Smith on the player, nice. Oh, that's right, I don't have enough money for high potions. I'll come back later. But yeah, at some point I stopped playing mostly the regular times and only really joined for the War of Imperium, because that was the most fun I had in the game and just did other stuff on the side. I never had a particularly good character for War of Imperium. Like, I had some niche uses, especially with the Tech 1 Master, when that was released, where I could chase down other Tech 1 Masters that were like guild leaders and such, so they couldn't use emergency recall. Or if they were just really fast in their Pekko-Pekkos, I could just jump through the towers. Going pure support and pure smithing was too long for you. Downside of not fighting 50,000 chimeras, you don't have money. Oof. Chimeras? Weren't the chimeras like mini-bosses? Maybe they have a different name. But yeah, my father had a pure smithing smith dude, which he he leached his own smith by playing with a battle priest, and he went all the way up to like level 95 with that. It was actually kind of ridiculous to think about it now, because he invested so much time into that game. It was quite fascinating. Oh, the downside. Oh, that's for the Solo Zerker. I see. Fair enough. Well, we still have plenty of money. I actually just invested a lot of money in order to get 70 Venom Rods. That's where all my money went. Other than that, I would have plenty of it. That's okay. Alrighty, so we're now at the Twin Towers. So this is where we stretch the idea of Solo Cactus Challenge run a little bit. Because all we do is, first of all, we have to split up our party into two groups. So what I do first is I will send Butts on the right side and everybody else on the left side. The people on the left side, they don't really do anything, they are just there, so to speak, until I defeat the Minotaur. Then we reset the console, and we send everybody except for Butts on the right side, and Butts goes to the left side, in order to defeat the other boss. So there's basically a boss on the left side and a boss on the right side. And it's really easy to take out the boss on the right side with super low level characters, just turning them into samurais briefly. So basically we will prove that we can easily defeat the boss on the right side with just a red mage, a solar red mage, And then we go over on the left side and defeat the Omniscient. But because you technically do have to defeat both enemies, we just turn the low-level characters into samurais to easily get past the guy on the right side, because he has 0 physical defense. I play on a Super Nintendo in this case. The chest over there contains, I think, a high potion. Actually, no, that's an ether. Actually, we'll want that once I go up the tower for real. The next chest we encounter is actually no. This is the Wonder Wand here. This is the chest that I actually go in here for in the first place. Also, fun fact, the enemies here are really dangerous. On the right side, basically, that chest is the Wonder Wand. That is what we want, eventually. But right now I will reset anyways. Either way, the enemies on the random encounters are really dangerous. On the right side, you only want to use physical attacks. Otherwise, if you use magic, they counterattack you with stuff that will likely wipe out your entire party. It's kind of ridiculous. Speaking of Berserker, I just tried to run away because there's not really much point in fighting anyways. Spamonite on high orcs and win. Well, if you have enough money for that, that works pretty well. But 1,000 zenny per attack is pretty pricey. But then again, it only costs 5 SP if I'm not mistaken to use each attack, so that's pretty impressive. Alrighty, that chest contains a Defender Sword, which is unfortunately once again a Knight-only sword. It actually allows you to cast defense. Oh, I forgot the Wonder Wand. Whatever, I don't need it. The Knight-only sword actually allows you to cast defense. I want the physical attack power here and also defense, so we do this. And the chicken knife. So, the Knight-only sword allows you to cast armor, or, well, protect as a spell if you use it in combat. It doesn't break if you use it that way. So it has infinite uses of just using protect, which is actually really good. But again, Knight-only weapon, we cannot use it unfortunately. Don Luza, thank you! Thank you very much for 3 Ramsa support. Welcome back, and I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Alrighty, so this is the first boss here. This is Minotaur. We literally cannot use any spells even if we try to, so our only options are using items and physical attacks. But because he has 0 physical defense, he is not exactly that tough to deal with. He does 2 out of 3 times physically counterattack whenever I attack him. I think it's 2 out of 3 times, it might be 1 out of 3. Either way, all I need to do is, because I'm so much faster than him thanks to our haste boots, I just heal up every once in a while and then hit him again. He has 20,000 HP only. And because he has 0 physical defense, we really don't worry about how much he can do to us for the most part. I'm sitting actually deliberately in the back row just so his counterattacks don't deal as much damage. Because we have relatively low HP, I do have to worry about his attacks a little bit. But nothing too bad. So even a black mage or a summoner with the chicken knife has really no trouble dealing with the Minotauros, just because we have the haste boots and he doesn't deal that much damage anyways. Might take a bit longer if you don't have particularly high physical stats, or you take more damage for that matter, but never anything dangerous really. Unless I play it too risky. But yeah, because I reset, I will just use Elixir here anyways. Might as well. I guess I should have maybe picked up the Elixirs in the pyramid. Oh well, it'll be fine. XF, thank you! Thank you so much for 51 months of support, welcome back! And I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Also, he doesn't actually do anything whatsoever, he just physically attacks. Except for the very end, he tries to cast Holy. But, well, it doesn't quite work. because he doesn't have enough MP. And the funny thing is, even if he had enough MP, he doesn't even deal that much damage. Like, you can give him an ether or two in order to let him cast Holy. But yeah. That's it. Minotaur down. Not enough MP! And now we go up the other side of the tower. So this is the reason why I actually kept the Flame and Ice Shield around. Because I want to have as much physical evasion as possible. You get a Guardian Dagger. Don't need anything else. Actually, you get an Elf Cape. That's fine. Does not matter whether they are in the front or back row, they are a one-shot anyways if they ever get attacked by any enemy at all. Remove these, anything else we can give you? Not really. Maybe the Thief's Knife, just you're a little bit fast because it gives +1 agility. Yeah, the Thief's Knife is a weapon I picked up just earlier. It allows you half the time to try and steal from enemies. So even though we don't have a thief in our party, we actually do have the ability now to steal from enemies if that is desirable, which is actually sometimes pretty good. Okay, the Assassin Dagger. Go Dancing Dagger. Okay, so we now have a group of level 1, 3, and 4 samurais. The main reason my Kara, by the way, is level 4 rather than usually level 1 is because I decided to try and take on Gilgamesh in the jail with a low-level red mage. But the catch was we didn't have enough MP to cast Mini as a low-level Galuf, so I wanted to gain 1 level, but the least amount of experience we got was 4 levels. Need to get money. Oh, I forgot about that part. Yeah, we need to get money. You're right. Thank you for the heads up, Dryzelizer. That is true. We need to briefly go and sell some stuff because samurais literally throw money at the problem. And if you don't have money, you can't really throw it at the problem. So that would be a problem. Yeah, basically, samurai's innate ability is throwing Zenny. And throwing Zenny is so ridiculously powerful. I'm just gonna sell the Flame Ring, right? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. We do want to keep a wall ring. I don't need the air lancet anymore. Okay, this is mildly awkward. I guess I'm just selling a bunch of the Venom Rods. This should be enough. But yeah, basically, based on the samurai's level, and based on how many enemy targets there are, the Guild Toss ability costs more money. Based on the level, it deals more damage, but it also costs more money. So actually, preferably, because it has such a high base value, if the enemy has 0 defense, it's just strictly better to have a low-level character to have enough money to throw. What was the thing? Right for some money? No, I'm just selling. I don't need that many Venom Staves anyways. It was a bit silly to buy them already. I just forgot about it. Alrighty, so we said once again our Solar Red Mage now up on the left side of the tower after we have proven that we can easily complete the right side. Yeah, you can't throw money at the problem that you have no money. I suppose you can, technically. Either way, samurais are kind of ridiculously good because they use shields, so they have more physical block chance. But also on top of that, they have an innate chance to dodge already. They can on top of that use the Guardian Dagger and an Elf Cape, so... samurais basically dodge everything. Here, what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to unequip the running shoes because I will want to have the wall ring anyways. Equip the bone mail, that's fine. Gold hairpin, yes, that's fine. Okay. And now we climb the tower for real. So once again, left side is magic, so you actually do not want to use physical attacks on these enemies. They will counterattack with something like Meteor, which is 4 attacks that deal between, I think, 800 and 2400 damage. So yeah, each of the meteors. So it almost guaranteed just absolutely destroy us if I tried that. Welcome to you, multi-site though. Challenge is going quite fine so far. Not really any trouble. A little bit slow, but that's kind of expected. Here we have the Wonder Rod, the elusive one. That is what we will be wanting to use. So the Wonder Rod is the main reason why I'm climbing these towers in the first place. Whenever you attack with a Wonder Rod, it will first cast the weakest white magic spell, then the second weakest, then the third one, the fourth one, etc. Just go all the way through the list up to the highest level. And then it will start with the weakest black magic spell, second weakest, third, fourth, fifth, etc. Basically it just cycles through all white magic spells and then through all the black magic spells. And then it will cycle back through the all white magic spells again. So it will basically go like that forever in a sense. Well, that's less than ideal. How many Phoenix Stones do I have? Not a whole lot. Please let me run away. Maybe should have bought some Phoenix Stones. Thank you for dodging. So, I'm gonna give you the running shoes. What class do we take on next? Well, you can vote on that in the straw poll if you'd like to. Because of the way the GBM menu works, this segment is easy to critically mess up. Okay. Ow. Well, we have 3 Phoenix Downs left. So we just hope we don't get killed, I suppose. Hey, let me run! This is actually really silly, because the encounter rate in these towers is so crazy low that it's not uncommon that you don't encounter a single enemy along the way. I'm just gonna run, not try to. If I die, it's actually considered a death. Because I did fail to prepare with appropriate amount of Phoenix Stones. Okay. Death count plus 3 if you will, but I'm only going to say plus 1. Okay, we're gonna buy more Phoenix Stones. Timer goes on in the menu. And yes, that is very true, Komaru. That's also true for the Super Nintendo version, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, now. Buying a bunch of Phoenix Downs. But not too many. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna sell more Venom Staves. Just so I have enough. How much money does it cost me to throw money at Minotaur? I have actually no idea. I hope this is still enough. Maybe I have to calculate it. Ew. So you get the wall ring, and actually you don't need a chicken knife. You just get assassin dagger. I'm gonna give you the chicken knife just so you're fast. Actually, no. You know, that's fine. Running shoes and chicken knife. Level times 50 per throw, pretty cheap, so it's 200. Alright, so yeah, we should easily have enough money then. It deals about 1500 damage per throw. We need subsequently 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 throws up. Let's say 15 throws, each costing about 200 gold would be... $2,000, 3,000 gold. Alright, we should easily have enough in this case. But yeah, it's actually true. If you don't interact with the thing on the left side quickly enough, you will actually game over. Because lore-wise, we have to basically get both of the magics at the same time, otherwise the towers explode. The silly thing is, let's say the fight on the right side takes you 3 minutes. You can still take over a few hours in order to complete the fight on the left side, and it's still perfectly fine. Pretty bad luck so far with the encounter rate. Toad! Ribbit. 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 And then this is part of the reason why I quit the wall ring already. I don't wanna fight you guys, stop it. The link at the bottom is the one you want for the straw poll. You can vote on which one we play next. There is the Wonder Rod. Alrighty, now with enough Phoenix Stones to probably go through the entire tower, this should be fine. Probably. By the way, I would like to point out that this is rather questionable tower design overall. Because we have to go through the outside in order to be able to go back inside in the tower. So that is really weird. I'm attacking with Lena mainly because she has the chicken knife, so we have a 1 in 4 chance to run away whenever I attack with it. Good block so far. Not getting lucky with the runaway though. All the attacks runaways. Wow. There we go. That chest over there just contains a high potion. I have plenty of them. I don't need that. So I'm just gonna ignore that chest. The chest on the left here will contain a defender sword. I guess it's money. Might as well pick it up. Worth like, what, 5,000 gold? Something along these lines. Alrighty, let's go. So, once again, Minotaur has 0 defense. More than, well, really any defense would actually be a problem for Guild Toss because it does actually get affected by defense values by the enemies. So, because we would be low level, any real defense would actually be reducing our damage to basically nothing with Guild Toss. But thanks to him basically not having any, not a problem. He still counterattacks every time we do that. But thanks to high physical evasion of the samurais, we don't really have any trouble. Since we can just revive the other characters. Did I overflow my money? No. How much money you have does not reflect how much damage you deal with Guild Toss. Oh, that's unlucky. We have more than a 50% chance to block each time. It just costs you a certain amount of money in order to use Guild Toss in the first place. Wow, again. Okay. Oh, Kara went before Lena. Well, that's less than ideal. Could have gone really bad. In case you're wondering, I did not keep track of how much damage I did so far, but it should be over right around now. Just in case it's over, so I don't have to do the thing. Okay, nice. Victory. Unfortunately, we get some samurai levels in our other classes, but it doesn't really matter. This is also where you get holy as well as flare, black and white magics, but we are really here just to get the Wonder Rod. Alrighty, and this guy here is Omniscient. Omniscient is more annoying rather than dangerous, let's put it that way. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try and throw stuff at him. Let me explain. So Omniscient is not really dangerous. He innately comes with shell and regeneration status. So he will only take half damage from magic attacks. Also he has armor, so half damage from physical attacks too. The catch is actually that he also likes to heal himself frequently, and if you try to attack him with a physical attack, you actually have a bit of a problem there. Because whenever you attack him with a physical attack, he will try to counterattack with Reset, which resets the state of the battle back to how it was at the very beginning. So that's a bit of an issue. He is heavy, so all the status effects last only a very short duration. So if he gets muted, I could actually briefly attack with the chicken knife. Or if he gets stopped on himself, I could also briefly attack with the chicken knife. So he has 17,000 HP. And drained, by the way. This is why I have the bone meal equipped. That's the one spell that goes through my wall ring. Slow. Alright. If he were slowed, actually the mute as well as the stop status effects would last longer. And the short version is I need to push him below 5,000 HP, where he starts using Fire 3, Lightning 3 and Ice 3. Because that is basically when he stops using all these pitiful weak spells. A lot of solo characters don't really have a good way to deal with this guy at all, and a common strategy is to just run him out of magic, which means you sit here for approximately 1.5 hours. Red Mage is a little bit faster than that, not much faster though, because we can deal some damage, but it is largely negated by the regeneration effect. So basically what we hope for is that he uses a lot of spells that actually deal a good chunk of damage to himself, like Bolt 2 is fine, and these kinds of things. Drain is also really good for us, because, well, it helps us. So let's see, what is his next set of spells he can possibly use? Cure, Fire, and Slow. I just hope he does not use Cure, just because, well, that's annoying. Also, if I get the opportunity to attack him with a physical weapon, I can either use a chicken knife to try and deal a lot of damage, or alternatively, yeah, he's weak against wind by the way. Alternatively, what I could try and do is I could try and ult him. All status effects does work on him, which means he would not regenerate nearly as much anymore. So that would help a lot. But he needs to reflect, mute or stop in order to me be able to attack him with that. Because even if I hit myself with old status effect, for example, or more specific, let's put it this way. What I could do is I could equip the weapon to cast old on chance to hit myself with it and reflect it off of me over to Omniscient. But technically, for all intents and purposes, for the boss's idea, I still attacked physically, which means even though he just only get hit by an old spell, he will still cast Reset. You can kind of do this trick with Mage Master Dagger, which will actually cast Mute, but because he is muted, he can no longer cast Reset. But this is only really useful if he slows himself, or he, through some miraculous means, actually gives you haste. He can give you haste if he casts Wall on himself, and then 3 turns later he casts or tries to haste himself, meaning he actually hastes you. So those are the possibilities. Now he just hasted himself, which unfortunately the regeneration status effect is going to go crazy now. And Cure 2 he has up as well. Ouch. Fire 2, Bolt 2, Ice 2, Quarter is next. Yeah, maybe I should have grinded out dual cast before this fight. Next is Wall, Drain or Bio. All of these are actually quite fine. Wall this time. Oh, fun fact, you can actually Berserk him, but unless you have a way to negate physical attacks, I don't recommend doing that. Let's see. He's going to Cure, Fire or Slow next. Oh, I did not think this one through, did I? Also, he can damage me through curing or trying to cure himself while he has Wall equipped. Next is Mute, Venom and Haste. I'm actually going to briefly wait here, just in case he mutes himself. Oh, does it hit? Nice, alright. What I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna try to hit him with... So Old status actually has a kind of a low chance to land because Shell reduces the chance to hit by half. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just try and attack him with a chicken knife, which at least has a 3 in 4 chance to succeed. Because, well, 1 in 4 chance to run away. Where is my chick? Oh! That's right, the chicken knife is on the other character, so I don't even have the opportunity. But alrighty, trying to ult him then. Still did okay damage, I suppose. There, you saw he just tried to cast Reset, but he couldn't. That's the entire idea right there. Fire 2. Next is Bolt 2, Ice 2 or Quarter. Quarter is not good because it doesn't deal anything. Next he can use Wall, Drain or Bio. Bio is good, that deals good damage to him. Pure Fire or Slow is next. Slow is really good if he slows himself. Nice. But the regeneration effect is not going to go as crazy anymore. Scan, Ice and Regeneration is next. None of those spells really do anything. Like even Ice is just super low damage. Well, this gives us information. Alrighty, we are actually more than halfway through. Actually, it's less than 4,000 HP that we have to have him at. Next is Mute, Venom or Haste. Hopefully it's not Haste. Well, rip. Afterwards we have Cure 2, Toad and Demi. Okay, at least not Cure 2. Charm, Fire 2 and Stop. Bolt 2, Ice 2 and Quarter. Wall, Drain or Bio. Okay, wow. So this time I'm not gonna make the same mistake. I can cast my own wall in order to reflect back over to him. So that's that. Cure, Fire or Slow. Wow. Rude. He actually hit me. Then is Scan, Ice and Regen. Next is Mute, Venom and Haste. Alright, just in case he decides to mute himself again. Nope. Pretty sure Wall has worn off by now. Just in case it didn't, I'm still going to target myself. And now it's fine. Wall basically lasts for like 3 turns after you cast it. Vault 2. Wall, drain, bio, hopefully drain here, please. Not wall. That's annoying. Slow yourself, please. Okay. I didn't hit. Scan, ice and regen. That's okay. Mute, venom, taste. I'm just going to wait here again. Just in case he decides to mute himself. Oh. Nice. Alright. Where is my wind dagger? Oh, I sold that one, didn't I? Haha. Ah, I thought I didn't need it anymore. Okay. So best option I have now at this point is using... I'm going to try Ancient Sword again. Oh well. Still deals okay damage. I was going for the Wind Dagger just because I figured it would deal more damage. Next is Size, Float or Nothing. Cure 2 Totem Demi. Wait, he's already a step further. Wall Drain or Bio. Weapon fail indeed. Wall again. Slow yourself, please. Ah, no slow. I'm running out of magic here. I have 6 more spell casts. I only have 1 ether. And I can't really use an elixir, otherwise I will go to critical HP myself. Mute, venom and haste. Maybe I should have waited. Haste would have actually been good here because he would have hasted me since he still has wall. Demi. Charm, Fire Turn, Stop. He hasn't casted a stop a single time yet. Wrong one. Drain, please. Thank you. Slow yourself, please. Oh, alrighty, we're done. Just in time before I run out of magic. So, now that he spams Fire 3, Ice 3 and Lightning 3, he will deal enough damage to just finish himself off despite the regeneration status. Whew, that took a while. But still way faster than a lot of other characters that just have to run him out of magic. The way you run him out of magic most efficiently is you wait until he mutes or stops himself and then you give him the ether. Because even if you try to use like a healing potion on him, he will just reset the combat anyway. He only specifically doesn't do anything against magic. Also, Flare is his death counter, so he's done. And we just learned X magic, or double cast. The Tella special. Something like that. Actually, isn't the Tella special Meteor? We don't get that until the Trench, which I think we're going to go into the Trench to get the last set of levels. I feel like that's going to be the most efficient, but I actually don't really know. So, after you were here, this actually pretty much unlocks the last part of World 3, but previously we were kind of locked in certain places where we couldn't go since we don't have a submarine. But here we will be able to convert our boat to both a floaty boat as well as a submarine, so we will be able to go everywhere. And I think the Trench is probably going to be my best bet for... I think the thing is going to be my best bet for being able to leveling up the remainder of the levels I'm looking for. Okay. Now I can also sell all the shields. That this part is over. I don't need them anymore. My genius is almost frightening. I couldn't fit all the tooltip information, so what did I do? I made the tooltip window bigger. Nice. Oh, just kind of a little aesthetic thing. I don't think it's necessary in any capacity, but what if you made the tooltip window have like a similar like text box border like in game? It's kind of a thought. Preferably not the background because that's sometimes difficult to read. But yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking of that. Nice. Thinking outside the literal box. Okay, so, in case you're wondering why we went in there specifically for the Wonder Rod, just because this allows us to use one specific white magic spell that is called Shell. Shell will be our ability to stay alive during both the last boss battle as well as the second to last boss battle, since it cuts all the magic damage in half and, more importantly, reduces the chance of the certain spells to hit by half. Otherwise we would fall prey to an instant death spell in the first phase of the final boss battle very frequently. We'll still likely die a bunch to it, but it's not going to be nearly as frequently as it otherwise would be. Alrighty, we now have a floaty boat, and we are free to go wherever we please. And the first thing I'm going to do is I will be going to go to Barrage Village, stock up on high potions, sell the stuff I don't need anymore. Maybe buy venom rods? I'm actually not entirely sure what I want to do here. And yes, shell lasts forever until you get dispelled or KO'd. Dispel is a real concern, but because the main idea is the first phase anyways, it is not too bad. Excalibur is a sword that we can use, but it deals exactly 1 damage every time. And unless I'm mistaken, I don't have any use for this as a red mage. Yeah, no, goodbye. Don't need the crystal shield anymore. I don't need the Magus hat anymore. We have a circlet now. Can't use a defender sword, unfortunately. Maybe dancing dagger. We keep this one. Healing rod. Banana. Actually, I will be using that one actually. Mirage vest, circlet. Dark hood. Diamond, I need this one still. Dark armor. Elf cape we don't need anymore. Flame ring. Let me think about this. Do I need it still? It will have technically some use for Twin Tanya if I want to go that route. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. Don't need the ice shield or flame shield anymore. Absolutely want the running shoes. That's not even a question. That's it really. Okay, stocking up on a few ethers just in case I need them. I need one soon. High potions. And hey, Topaz Shot, finally finished Berserker? Yes, actually, quite a while ago. With whatever we consider finished anyways. I might have to make a Berserker command because that question comes up so frequently. We reached our goal with the Berserker, which was getting to the final boss. Okay, let's see. So the reason I'm going back here is I actually want to have float on my character. And we did this before already. We confuse a birdie and then tell the birdie that it should actually give us float by charming it. And giving it an ether too. And as long as the birdie is not too confused, and destroys itself, we should get float. Probably. Also, I actually want to go and equip running shoes and chicken knives. So in here we can encounter a pretty common encounter with a zombie dragon, a birdie, and a other thing. The things that use magic hammer and half my MP, which I hope they don't do that here. Well, you're the wrong guys anyways. Wow, really? Well, we can't get paralyzed, so tail wasn't as devastating as it could normally be. This is one of the most, well, dangerous back attacks in the entire game, because one of them can put you into critical HP through an ability called Bone, and the other one can just hit you. So they are really dangerous. Alrighty, so charm the birdie. Oh, I don't have MP. I thought I would get my MP back. Oh well. So now we are going to use an ether on the bird, so it hopefully gives us float, and that's going to be all we need. And now we wait. Venom. Couch, thank you. Thank you very much for the raid and the host. I really appreciate that. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. And welcome everybody. We're currently playing Final Fantasy V Solo Character Challenge Run with the Red Mage, where we have arrived in the last stages of the game. I have acquired float, and now we're running. Let's go. Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. And thank you for the good luck, I will need it. Huh. I actually can't use a tent or a cabin, otherwise I'm gonna lose my float status. I probably should have used a tent or a cabin before. I'm just gonna use an elixir for it. It'll be fine. I only need a few more. I didn't actually need the elixir yet, now I think about it. Oh well, it'll be fine. So yeah, welcome Coach. How are you doing? And if I may ask, what were you doing today? And anybody who may not know Coach, can highly recommend. It's a nice place to hang out in. And the Twitch channel, really pleasant. Okay, now we go into the Undersea Trench. Even though we only did the Twin Towers for the Wonder Rod, conveniently enough this opens up the ability for us to works. This opens up the ability for us to just go and grind in the trench, which is fairly efficient overall. Okay, so first time we have a can't run, so that's kind of what can happen 1 in 4 times. It's not actually as usual that we haven't seen it until now. Ooh, 2,500 damage now. Fun fact, the chicken knife always deals the same damage, because it doesn't have any damage variance on it, so it's a bit strange like that. But this also means we know exactly that we're going to kill these guys in the next attack. So I'm gonna put one of them to sleep and just hit the other one, so that one other guy cannot revive the other one, and then we just hit this guy and we win. Doing well, we're just playing some Link to the Past rando. Nice. How's the challenge going? Quite fine. No particularly large roadblocks in any capacity. The main amount of deaths came from me trying to win a fight that I, well, basically just tried to play the odds without breaking rods. But the other part, or the other main amount of deaths came from using, or trying to defeat X-Death at the end of World 2, which we had a good damage thanks to breaking light staves that we farmed. But the catch was that... Where's my magic lamp? The catch was that, well, he still has a 2 in 3 chance to straight up kill us, and we don't have particularly much HP. Where's my magic lamp? a blind. Did I sell magic lamp? I hope not. That would be really bad. There it is. Yeah, I have no idea where that was. You didn't see me sell magic lamp, right? Was a little bit spooky anyways for a second there, because it's a real possibility. I'm a derp like that sometimes. Okay, chicken knife, just let me run, please. But yeah, sword was a good idea, because suddenly it was there. Not entirely sure what happened there. So, as mentioned before, Magic Lamp will use the strongest summon, then the second strongest summon, and then the third. And generally speaking, this first plus the second one will always kill an entire group of enemies like these guys here. And because we have the haste boots equipped, we generally speaking go twice before they go once. So we have a relatively easy time dealing with all of the enemies here. And then the third summon will also just wipe out all the enemies by itself. But then our magic lamp is not going to be all that proficient anymore in killing any more enemies for that matter. I actually want to go and grab the flame ring here just to sell so I can buy elixirs later. So I now use the lamp for the third time through edge. Once again, it kills all enemies that are not heavy, as in the status flag heavy. And, well, that is most enemies in general. And even some bosses. So, hooray. So here's another flame ring, which sells for 25,000 gold. Basically half an elixir in terms of monetary value. So we don't really have any real option anymore for defeating these guys efficiently. We can still technically defeat them. All of those enemies are undead, which means we can just throw Phoenix Downs at them if we really want to. But yeah, there's not really much of a reason to go through that. So, and we will want to figure out what level I want to reach for the grind here. Please let me run. Also, because I'm floating, the lava doesn't hurt me, so that's nice. Also, I could have taken a quicker trip down, now that I think about it. If you press any of the wrong buttons upstairs, it will allow you to just go, so to speak. That's not good. I did not think this went through. For some reason I thought it was the skeletons I don't want to hit with a physical attack. That was a derp. I mean, on the bright side, I get to demonstrate the proper buttons now. Yep, he just ejects you from the battle if you attack him physically. That's it. If you have to defeat these guys for whatever reason, let's say you're doing a Brave Blade run with a solo knight, and you probably don't have enough damage to one-shot them, what you just want to do instead is you want to use Phoenix Downs on them in order to get past. The skeleton guy does condemn on you. Ah, I see. I also believe the skeleton guys are heavy, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least they have a lot more HP than the other stuff. Delta attack. Not enough MP. Delta attack would actually be really bad, because Delta attack is a guaranteed petrification. They're not heavy? Oh, I see. Did I already use the magic lamp now twice, or was that before I saved? Heyo, welcome to you, Alright. I hope you have a nice day so far. Are they weak to Holy? Because so, if Excalibur might deal a good amount of damage to them as a knight. Yes, I believe they're Holy. Also, I have no idea what that chest is up there. Let's go and check it out. Usually I like to comment on what is in the chest, but this is one of the chests I don't know. Oh, that's right, we could use the Sage Staff for very good damage. That is very true. Also, Dragon Fang. I mean, to be fair, the Sage Staff is not necessarily wholly elemental damage. It just deals 8 times damage against undeads, ignoring the defense. Ow! That was a lot of damage. Another testament to how low the vitality is of the Red Mage. I got my magic lamp charges back now. Okay. So I can use some of them. So I know that we do not have enough damage to defeat the skeletons. Straight up. One of these chests down there is an ether, the other is a phoenix stone, I think. Not entirely sure. Let's see. Yeah, alright, we probably have to use the magic lamp 3 times here. Actually, this is bad. I should move into the back row. These things deal a lot of damage, and I'm pretty sure we don't kill them with the next magic lamp attack here. Okay, 15-second timer because we have haste. If you're not hasted, you have a 20-second timer over your head. Okay. Next is Odin, which will one-shot all of these. Alrighty, we have arrived at the second save point. Feeling a little bit safer now. This is also where we can recharge our magic lamp. So this is lore-wise, I think, under History Falls, which means that this is effectively the same water as History Falls, which does recharge a magic lamp. And if you stand in a specific corner, that is exactly what happens. So here, this is, I think, the best encounter for experience. We get to use 3 unknown plant enemies. One shot, 3600 experience. And that's that. Oh, by the way, we finally unlocked our ability with the Red Mage, which is X Magic. Cast 2 spells consecutively. Which is really, really good. Gold pin, that's fine. Alrighty, and this is where we're going to be staying for experience after recharging Magic Lamp for a while. Unfortunately, the enemy encounters over here are not quite as good for experience as the ones that were in the earlier stages of the cave. They are still pretty good though, but not quite as good. Did I get a black robe? I did get a black robe, I did get a circlet, so we can actually get plus, I think, 8 magic power if I want to. Which I'm pretty sure is still not enough to one-shot either of these enemies with this. Also, fun fact, those weird blobs beasts are weak to water. So we do actually have a circlet, which is plus 3 magic power, and a black robe, which is plus 5. So we can actually go up to 41 magic power. As again, I don't think that's enough, but then again, unless I get back attacked, I don't really take any physical damage anyways. So, might as well test it. Back attack is a 1 in 16 chance of occurring. Alrighty, so usually towards the end of the game, it's less about how much damage my character deals, and more about how much maximum HP do I want to get in the end. And because we will be using a shell, we don't need quite the 3000 HP that other characters want to have. So normally the goal for... Oh, I didn't go and recharge my lamp. Derp. Let me run. Actually, we can just finish it up. And normally towards the end I try to go for about 3000 maximum HP on every character, because that is the threshold for when we survive a Holy and Flare attack from the final boss. Just a bit more than 3000 anyways. And yes, Magic Lamp is affected by higher magic power. It is also affected by whether you have certain items equipped that deal more, well, elemental magic damage. But Bahamut is neutral element, Leviathan is water, which there's only, I think, a chemist mix in particular that boosts the water element in the first place, like nothing else does. And the first summon that actually deals elemental damage that is boosted by your attack is Sildra, if you equip the stuff. Oh wow, one actually died. So maybe it's not that far away to one-shot all of these guys. Maybe. Hard to tell. Either way, let's see. Level 57 would be 3000 HP if I want to go for that. 57 is kind of far away though. The main question, I suppose, is going to be whether I want to rely on physical damage, or what even my problem or trouble bosses are going to be. I will certainly be relying on a bunch of physical damage thresholds, but they are basically every other level thanks to the chicken knife scaling with both strength as well as the other thing. Agility. So it's mainly actually the magic power, I think, that is going to be relevant. Oh wow. They do die with a single Mega Flare. But I'm pretty sure they don't die to Leviathan, Big Wave, unless we get the 2 big blob enemies. Which means we need to use the Magic Lamp 3 times anyways in order to defeat all of these guys. Actually, what we can do is I can equip the Sage Staff here, which is a guaranteed hit, and wipe out the last one of a physical attack. Wow. Almost 4000 damage on that. True Edge. Zing! I like that. Okay, so let's see. We are currently level 43, soon to be 44. And how much magic power am I going to have for the final boss battle? I think I will gear up for physical damage, so I will not really have a circlet. The question is, do I keep a gold hairpin, or do I have any reason to even cast spells in the first place? Not really. Nothing in particular comes to mind. What am I doing? Which means I think my final magic power is going to be probably 33. It's still going to be relevant in order to try and deal some damage with Bahamut and such. Oh, if that's it, however, welcome to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for 3 Ramsa support. Well, I hope you're doing as well as you can be. Ice cream. I like ice cream. That's unique. I suppose you were prepared for it in a sense anyways. Seems like a weird move to me anyways. But then again, I think the laws might be different in different places. Because, let's put it this way, at least in Switzerland, if you get fired when you're trying to use resignation papers, that's actually a good thing for you. Because you actually get government support for being, like, jobless without it being your own fault. In a sense. Something like that. It's not exactly how I phrased it. Let's try this again. I'm basically paraphrasing it without any real experience on my end. So... You're leaving the job anyway for a better job. Nice. I hope that works out really well for you. Not possible to get fired after resigning, really? Well, I mean, technically it is, depending on... Most places I know anyways are... Like, you need to give them, like, a month or a week's notice before you can actually resign. So the projects that you have started can be properly handed over, etc, 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 so you can't just disappear from one day to the other. Exactly, Super Monkey, that's kind of what I was thinking. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be malicious. I don't know your environment, but I do in fact know of employers that, because they were in such good terms with their ex-employees at that point, that they decided, look, don't quit, I'm going to fire you so you can get government support. And it's gonna be easier for you to transition from one job to the other. Like, that's literally what happens sometimes around here. So it makes sense to me. Menu redesign done. Nice. It works. It's alive! It works! Also, I still haven't decided what level I'm gonna go for. 63 would be a 12 times multiplier, but that's way too high. 55. 55 is a bad level because of level 5 Doom. Actually, yeah, level 3 Flare would also be a problem. 56 is level 2 Old is a problem. 55. I suppose level 5 Doom is not as big of a problem because we have a bone mail. Sounds like you were on good terms with your boss with that said, however. You live in a right-to-work state. Employers don't need cause for termination. A right-to-work state kind of sounds like that would be, like, backwards. But not needing a cause for termination sounds very unpleasant to me, because it's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna randomly get fired for him not liking my nose, because the bee stung my nose, now it's too large. I don't know. That seems questionable. I'm a little bit hyperbolic, but I'm sure you get the idea. Right to work is a silly and backwards term. Weird. I would even accept that. That's America, yeah. Yeah, I know, I know. And it's not like it's just America who has backwards rules like that. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I just realized I could defeat the blobs with just 2 physical attacks. Actually, can I do that? Do the blobs still counterattack even if they die in one hit? Yes, that's all we're doing with Lethe. We're just grinding with the magic lamp to reach more maximum HP. So currently my goal is either level 55. That's such an awkward number set. I think 55 would be the best number. 59 is the next best because it's a prime number. How does the magic lamp work? You basically refill it in 2 specific spots. One happens to be right here in this area, or the other one is in the overworld. Whenever you use the magic lamp and it's full, you summon the strongest summon, then the second strongest, the third strongest, etc. summons. And it does scale with your magic power. So that's kind of all there is to this. And yes, what Lethe says is probably a better way to put it. Bakashinobi and TGE. I have no idea what these mean, to be honest. Right to work is just double speak for corporations want to fire people at will without justification that might cost them time or money. Oh, that's probably also where the concept of certain corporations for video games come from, where the programmers were hard at work to get the game out in time, and just so they don't have to pay the employers bonuses, they just fire them briefly. And whoever wants to work again because they need food for their families just can get applied again. Hooray. Well, that's probably a bit of a cynic view, but that's kind of what I heard can happen. I just hope it doesn't really. What's that purple? Oh, the purple? Brown. Suddenly in my chat there's only brown squares instead of the Franker faces symbol. The supporter badge. You guess this grind is better than Chimeras? Yes, by a good margin, honestly. Chimeras get 1000 experience each, and they always deal some damage back to us. Almost always. This here, unless I get specifically back attacked, I will kill them before they do anything to me. You heard accurately about companies like that? I know they exist. It's just mind-boggling to me when all statistic points towards that if you have happier workers and employees with reasonable work times, etc., they work so much better. That we wouldn't just implement this everywhere. Like, it's literally free money if you give your workers more money. Or, well, better environments anyways. Being used to Bakashinobu and TGE, comment there, just other people around on Twitch who also enjoy and share puns. I like puns, to an extent anyways, it's just like... It's a type of humor I can understand, let's put it that way. I'm one of these kinds of people who just literally doesn't really have the capability to understand certain types of puns. So I appreciate when I can actually understand stuff. Pure greed? That's what I'm saying though, Dryzelider. If they want more money, they should treat their employees better, because that results in more money in the end. It just doesn't make sense to me. Understandable. Nice. Also, welcome to you, Yaganel. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to as well, Renit, and welcome to anybody else who is around here. I hope you all have a pleasant time so far. So I'm still contemplating whether level 55 is what I want to go with, or whether I want to go with 59. To be completely honest, I'm more drawn towards the idea of going up to level 59, just because... we will have a good amount more maximum HP to work with, which is a problem if we're a red wizard, red mage. can make more money by treating them badly. No, that's what I mean. In the long run, you gain more money because employees are happier and they're working better, and you need less of them if they are working better. Well, probably does not work out as well as I hope it would, but that's just kind of what all those statistics points towards. Which classes have the lowest HP? Dancer, Bard, I think have lower than Red Mage, but other than that, Red Mage is, I think, the lowest. I can check. I don't remember what level we went with the Bard, but Bard actually had an easier time grinding here, just because it has the Requiem. Also, hang on, I haven't checked this yet. Okay, this doesn't... they don't even counterattack. So there's 2 attacks to defeat these things. Nice. So this encounter I can always take out like that. Okay, so here we go. We have 14 base vitality for Dancer, 15 for our Bard. The next lowest is 18 for a Red Mage. Yeah, literally only Bard and Dancer have less vitality. Repugnant. Nice. So yeah, Bard and Dancer are the only classes who have even less HP than the Red Mage. And it's very, very noticeable on these two because they don't have the convenience of high amount of versatility. I believe we leveled up both the Bard and the Dancer to a significantly higher level before going on to World 2. Actually, I think I specifically remember leveling up the Dancer to a higher level after I was already in World 2, which made it a bit slower, because World 1 has better grinding spots for specifically experience. What's the estimated time of the run? I don't really know. Basically, we are just grinding up to have enough maximum HP, either level 55 or level 59. We are now level 46. So I would guess that the grinding here is going to take about another hour, maybe 2. I haven't exactly calculated it, but afterwards we're just going to steamroll our way all the way to the end. So I kind of hope to be done within 5 or 6 hours, but depending on how some of the bosses behave, that might actually extend a bit later than that. And welcome to you, Merijin. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, a lot of bosses in the later sections are not all that dangerous, but there is specifically 3 that can be quite the problem. Those 3 are Azul Magia, or also the Blue Mage, whatever you want to call it. It is Necrophobe and Neo-Exdeath. Both Azul Magia and Necrophobe have a really long path to walk over to them until you are finally arriving at their domain, so each attempt will take quite a long time. We could both get lucky in order to just finish it right away, but chances are we will have to have a few attempts at each. And the other one is Neo-Exdeath, which, well... Neo-Exdeath is just a super lengthy fight by itself, but the main problem is actually getting into phase 2. But even once we are in phase 2, we don't really have particularly good damage output, so it will be a really long fight. Once we manage to take out the Grand Cross part and stabilize, we should likely survive the rest. Unless I run out of resources. Which is actually a minor concern, because I don't have that many elixirs remaining. 20 to 22 hours on the timer, yes. And I'm planning on finishing this today. I'm kind of hoping, yes. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, something like that, Luffy. Azul Magia is the Game Boy Advance name. He is called Apocalypse in the fan translation here. But Azul Magia just kind of makes more sense. Or Azure Mage, which Azure is a shade of blue, if I'm not mistaken, or a type of blue? A hue of blue? What do you call that? Maybe I should not have used that elixir. Let's see, how many elixirs are there in the last section? There's a number, but let's see. Let me think about this. There is 1, 2... 3. Only 3? Am I forgetting any? Are all these enemies supposed to be unknowns? Yes, well that's what it's translated into. It's just different type of unknown enemies, you could say. Azul Magia is blue magic in Spanish and Portuguese. Nice. I kind of wish they had names, but they're like the decaying remnants of creatures that once lived or something. Also, because they are just kind of disfigured to the point of what you can't really see anymore what they're supposed to represent. I guess that is part of their identity now, that you just don't know what they once were, hence the label unknown. At least that's my idea about it. Call them Bob 1, Bob 2 and Bob 3. Ah, but I'm Bob. At least I was Bob when I was in Japan. Because my actual name was too difficult for them to pronounce. Which I don't blame them for. Stuff they are trying to pronounce is too difficult for me. Without a lot of practice, that is. They called me Bob instead, yep. I mean, honestly, it's just the easy way to go about it, why not? Bob Mop. Oh god. I should get a wig or something like that. And have one of the Yaka monthlies be painting with Bob Moth. Oh dear. That would actually be quite investment, because I have no canvas or anything like that, or any way to put it. Could be fun though. Although I feel like doing that for 16 hours might be rather difficult. Plus I actually have absolutely no idea really about Bob Ross. I know about him, but I don't know actually anything per se, because I've never actually watched Bob Ross outside of like a minute of a snippet here and there. Trying to think whether I should go and grab the Kaiser Knuckles around here. I would probably like him. I mean, here's the thing, I know I do like him, just kind of concert-wise. Kind of like I know I like Mr. Rogers. I've actually watched a documentary on Mr. Rogers, and that was actually quite fascinating, inspiring even, some would say. I probably should watch the same. I assume there's a similar documentary about Bob Ross. I should watch that sometime. But the thing is, the main reason why I watched the one about Mr. Rogers is because I was on a plane from Switzerland over to the US. And they just happen to have the documentary as one of their movie options. And that was neat. And yes, that's kind of the impression I get from Bob Ross lately. Restrictive logic is working. Nice. The best happy little accident created. Alright, if we first go to level 55, I really think I should go up to level... level 59. Actually, let me calculate something real quick. So I know that for single target damage, the chicken knife is going to be strictly better than anything else. But I will also have to be in the front row in order to deal the appropriate amount of damage with that. So I guess one of the questions is going to be whether I will want to try and defeat Neo X Death's Grand Cross part with magic or with physical attacks. Unfortunately, I don't have specifically chicken knife calculator. Wait, restricted mode in the open world beta? I actually don't know anything about that either, honestly. Because I have most channels on mute and just check once in a while whenever I get the opportunity. Or, well, think about it really. Let's see. I can get a plus. I guess MP is not gonna be that big of a deal, so this is right now 41 magic power. Can I actually increase my magic power with something? Well, actually I will have 50% more base damage anyways. I wonder when that's applied. Did like Berserker is applied before defense? Will be 75. I need to research something real quick. I need both hands for that in order to speed up the process. Wizard Rod. Magic damage per meter, 641. Is magic attack burn apply multi-target modifiers, applies target stats effect, magic element up. Okay, this is after we deal the damage. Which means defense is calculated before, so I need to add 50% more damage to the entire calculation afterwards. You just beat Moon Temple and you gain +6 with your mercenary and you hate this place now? Wow. What kind of build did you go for, Quadlight? I'm curious. Alright, let's see. I'm just gonna go with full magic equipment idea right now. 41 magic power. And I'm gonna be dual casting stuff. I need actually the stats for Neo X Death. Almagas part, for example. Sylvian. Grand Cross. Nope, not this one. Almagas. Nope, not this one. Wait, no. Grand Cross it was. Grand Cross it is. There we go. Okay, Grand Cross part has how much magic defense? 20. So 20 magic defense is what I want to calculate. I have a base attack power of 50. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Base attack power of 50, 20 defense. Means it's a base attack power of 30 in the end. 57 is susceptible to level 3 flare. Okay, that would be 390, actually 430 damage on average. Plus 50% is about 600 damage on average. That's about 1,200 damage on average from the back row, guaranteed. I think the chicken knife is still the way to go, even in the front row. Where was I? True edge. Okay, I think chicken knife is still the way to go in the end, so... Even though I like the idea of using X-Magic from the back row, the other way around is better. Okay, anything else I need to consider? What's a pedestal when you have seed for it? Water palace reward only if you have the water seed. Oh, that's interesting. I like that actually. That sounds interesting. Interesting. Brick wave. You're using Ranger as a base. What? For Mercenary because you prefer the ranged attack and primary attack over skill spam. Also, but some of the passives work really well for that, I think. You ditched the entire foundation of the tracker and re-implemented it for... Oh, wait, that's a different thing. Wait, why don't you use a wizard as a base if you go for base attack? Wouldn't about the big fireballs that can, let's say, use the passive of the ranger to branch out after it hits something be more effective? That's kind of my first impression. But I guess ranger does have a bunch more, well, range. Alright, I'm going to take a short break. 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then we will come back. So we are level 47. We will probably go up to level... I don't know, 55, 57, 59. At least 57 actually, now that I think about it. That's when we get, with full magic power equipment, the next magic power threshold. Okay, going to take a break. Be right back. Thank you for watching, for listening and for lurking, and until afterwards.